Okay?
All right. Hey, family. This is Late Night Radio with Royce Live and Paula G right here on Positive Power 21 Christian Media. And my guest this evening is an amazing young lady. She's a recording artist. She is on tour, and I'm going to let her share that a little bit. And she's in collaboration with a gentleman that we all know quite well. So please put your hands together and welcome to Late Night with Jerry Royce Live and Paula G, Ms. Amanda Lynn. Amanda, how are you?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here with us. You know, you've got so much going on, and it's such a blessing. So we're just honored to have a moment of your time to come.
Anytime.
Yes, to come join us. So tell the audience just a little bit about who Amanda is, and then we're going to talk about some of the amazing things that you're doing right now.
Awesome. Well, I'm a national recording artist. I'm with 3HP Records. I kind of started out with all this. I done some stuff with Fred Hammonds. We'll get into that later. Done some fun stuff. I really sang all my life. It's just been my thing. You know, life throws you curveballs, and it doesn't work out when you think, and so it's kind of come back around in my life, and it's been so awesome and so exciting, and I've got so much going on. It's absolutely a whirlwind. So 2019 is about to be, like, really great. So I'm super excited about it for sure. So, yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I'm sure as we go we'll get to some more fun stuff,
So you said you've been singing all of your life. So are you one of those people where singing is like brushing your teeth in the morning? You just do it?
Yes, I don't ever remember not being able to. I sang I've got videos of me when I was like 2 on my fireplace with microphones. My whole family sings, from my grandparents, everybody. So it's just kind of something that's just been, so I've sang in church, I've sang with different people, done different things, and, now it's brought me to this point where it's my turn to just kind of do my own thing, and it has been an absolute blast, and I am so thrilled. I absolutely love it.
So can you share some of your childhood memories growing up? Because I think it's always such a wonderful thing. I know I have friends that grew up in musical families, and some of the stories that they share about growing up in a musical family. Can you maybe share one with us? Maybe
I can tell you, I was lucky enough to have my great-grandmother live to be 100 years old, and I was actually named after her. She sang, and my grandmother sings. We actually all sang in church on Mother's Day. It was 4 generations, and I have a daughter that sings, and I love that now we have 4 generations again that sing. So that's something that's always been something I love. I mean, let me tell you, when there are, like, weddings, it's like, okay, everybody, let's get together. We're all singing the songs. You don't have to hire musicians or anything. Like, everybody plays. I don't play instruments, but my brother is an amazing guitar player. My sister-in-law, they all do it all. So that's more. I mean, there's so many memories. I don't know which one is my very favorite, but that one was really cool just because it's rare you get 4 generations ever in a family, long enough where everybody's able to do stuff. But then to get to share that little bit is pretty cool. So I'm thrilled. I just love it. So yeah, that's one of my favorite things.
And you said you have a daughter. You have a daughter that's singing as well. So
she is. She's 9.
so that must be surreal. Like you're looking at a mini you singing.
Yeah. She's still at that age where she's shy, and it's taken me time to kind of like pull her out of it. So for me, we'll be in the car just going to town. I'm working on her with the public, so hopefully I would love to do something with her one day. I think that'd be really special. But yeah, I'm really glad that that she got that musical gene. Her dad also was very into music as well. My husband passed away about 4 years ago from a heart attack. So unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but that's something I feel like she carries from either of us that she can continue with. So I'm really glad she has that like the rest of us.
Yes, that's awesome that She just has that anointing, that family anointing. So growing up singing, you grew up singing. It's part of your fiber. It's part of your being.
Mm-hmm.
You've had, along your journey, you've had a variety of experiences using that your gift. We always talk about the gifts that God has given us, using the gifts that God is giving us. So along your journey, can you share with us how your music has evolved, how your approach maybe has evolved, how your style has evolved?
When you grow up in church, you sing what the music minister brings to you, or the youth pastor, or the choir teacher, whoever it is, you kind of just go with whatever. I've always, sung solos. I've done everything. As you get older, you kind of start to find things that make you calm. I feel like music is so necessary for so many reasons. And like I said, I've been through some really tragic events and things that have happened. And sometimes that's the only thing that can get you away. Because like when my husband died, the silence was absolutely deafening. That is a horrible thing, is the silence. And music can take you away from that negative space. And so now as I've come to kind of be able to do my own thing, it's kind of fun just to express me and not have to just try to recreate someone else. So I think that's been a fun time to kind of almost discover yourself in the time, as well as, letting everybody know. I mean, it's surprising. Like, I sing everywhere. Everywhere I go, people call me the walking jukebox because I sing everywhere.
Oh, I love it.
And then it's funny when people come and say, I didn't know you sing. What? I sing everywhere. So it's kind of fun to see other people like evolve with it. It's been a real fun little ride we've been going on. So yeah, it's ever changing, and I think it always is going to change. I don't think there's ever a final set moment, or you just lost your passion. I don't think that's going to happen. So
as long as you're using it and evolving as well. Now you recently had a Christmas special, did you not, with the Newsom Awards and Lynn?
Correct. We did a Christmas show for the Newsom Awards. They asked us to come sing. Lynn and I did she was featured on my song, Do You Hear What I Hear? I did. We love that song. It was a great back and forth, a great dynamic. She's awesome, and I love singing with her, and you can learn so much because she's so seasoned and she's been there, and I really just appreciate her showing me ins and outs that I didn't know, giving me different perspectives, things like that, not every artist gets a chance to have. I have that with my 3HP family. They are incredible. Everybody, when I say family, that is 100% underlined, italicized, and bolded. That is exactly what it is. Everybody is there for everybody. Nobody feels like anybody's better or worse or less. We all are there to lift everybody up, and in the process, everybody wins. From PR to your record producers to the people that put your videos together, find your clothes. Whatever it is that's going on. But Talina, I've had so much fun with her. She's like my sister. I love her to death. And, we want to do some more stuff together. So, we got to do that. I was on the platform, ABC show, The Platform. It just came out in the Baltimore area. I did that. That was super fun. I got to do the Christmas song, which is the song I did by myself. I did that, and I also got to sing my new single that's going to come out. Actually, at the Stellar Awards, we're going to do the release of that single there. I've got a lot going on during Stellar Awards weekend as well. So I actually got to perform that there. So that was kind of fun, like a sneak peek of that. Man, I tell you, I don't even know. I've been going 100 miles an hour.
And, it's so, and I always find it so interesting because when I get into these conversations with guests, because you're going so much and doing so much, and I do it myself, do so many interviews, you talk to so many people, and you're just on the grind because you're doing what it is that God has called you to do. And then when somebody actually stops and says, okay, well, kind of, break it down to us. What have you been up to? And then and that's the first opportunity that you have to stop and say, wow, I've really done a lot.
Yes. And then it's like you're doing all this stuff and you feel like, oh my gosh, this has only been 2 months. I've done all this in 2 months. It's definitely a different lifestyle you have to adjust to, but I love it. I think it's great. I mean, I really love going. My mom always said I had a go devil in me, so I have no problem. I love flying and traveling and seeing people. I'm definitely a people person, so I love to talk to people and be a part of things. So I'm always ready to jump in and do something. So this is right up my alley.
Well, speaking of flying and traveling, tell us about your being on tour with Usher.
Okay, so that's coming up this year. I'm not exactly sure of the dates yet. They're still working on the dates and everything and locations. That one will be overseas. So that's going to be super fun just because, people say, oh, well, gospel and Usher. And they're really trying to kind of do a little bit of different and really take something that can reach people. That's I'm gospel R&B. I love R&B. I think it's such a good genre that doesn't have to be taken really tacky. I say you can really keep it clean and pretty. I mean, the Lord created love, so why can't you give that in a clean, happy version and still be able to give everybody a little bit of God in the middle of it? So we're going to throw that in there, with a crowd that may not have normally chose to come to something that would have gotten them, a little Jesus in them. So we're going to give it to them. So that's our thought process behind that. And then, you can reach thousands, hundreds of thousands at that point. So, and then you're all over the world. So, man, it's a great opportunity to use really wisely. So we're really thrilled about that. It was a big one when we got that one. So we're super excited about that.
Wow. Now, have you traveled overseas before?
I have been out of the country, but not that far overseas.
Wow.
I've been on, I've traveled not far from the U.S., but as far as overseas, I have not been all the way over, so we will be definitely doing that next year. So I am really excited. Oh, man, I've always wanted to, so this is 25 different things I wanted to do all at one time coming together.
And you're getting
it's really awesome.
And one of the beautiful things about traveling outside of the country is you to me, you're never the same. Because you and you'll see. I don't want to spoil it for you, but you'll see when you travel outside of the country, you come back a different person. Especially if you're outside of the country for a minute. You come back a different person and a different perspective. And I hope we'll have the opportunity. Yes, I hope we'll have the opportunity when you come back to interview and chat again. Because I'd love to hear your perspective.
Oh, that would be so fun. I would love it. I would love it.
I would love to hear your perspective. Now, in addition to touring and singing and your record company, 3HP Records, tell us about Fred Hammond.
Oh, I love Fred. He's such a big teddy bear. I actually was introduced to him through a mutual contact that I also, did a little music with here and there. It started with his Festival of Praise 4 tour this last year. We did all the recording for that tour as far as the singing was concerned, besides just his part. So we spent, my gosh, many hours up all night long, recording these songs and doing the stuff, and that was just an absolute blast. Everybody always wants to sing with somebody that everybody knows. So for me to get asked to do that, I was really excited, nervous, of course, because, you're going into this whole new situation. But from there, everything I'm doing now has come from that. So it was just a simple video. Fred walked through the room. Troy saw it, and he was like, hold up. I need to know who this is. And then it's all kind of come from there. So it's been a good, while that we've been working on this. So then it turned into then we did the Push Me Lord, I Want to Be Better. That was the next one I did with him. The recent when he just put out Tell Me Where It Hurts, that one. And then when I was here for that one, he called me over and he was like, hey, I got something for you to do in my movie. I need you to be in my movie. So when we start doing that, be ready. I was like, okay. So then I got another opportunity to be in his movie, The Choir. It's coming up. I have no idea what my role is yet. We'll find out. So I'm waiting on that. But that's coming up, when he stops all his tour. He's been super busy lately too, but he's great. I love him, and it's so fun to work with. Again, another seasoned person who just really knows his stuff. So it's really good just for me growing wise, just to kind of learn my way around, and he's just the sweetest thing. So we love it. We have a great time with that one.
And to have all of those experiences, and you know you're truly on the path of doing what it is that God has called you to do, when all of these amazing doors open. And you find yourself having these amazing opportunities, whether you feel like you're ready for them or not. You find yourself in the midst of the opportunity, in the midst of the experience, in the midst of the journey. So like in your quiet times, like what do you say to yourself? Like, are you pinching yourself? Are you talking to the Lord? Are you looking at some other opportunities down the road that you'd like to have? Like what goes through your mind when you're still and you think about all of this?
Of course, you always go, Lord. I mean, it's always His way. I mean, you cannot fight His intentions, because my whole life, like I said, has been a whole bunch of craziness. And you sit here and like when my husband died, I'm like, why? I mean, he was perfectly healthy that we knew of. I mean, we found out he had a genetic heart condition that we didn't know about, and we wouldn't have known about. It was just something, it was like a silent killer. So you sit here and you say, why? I mean, I finished raising my stepson. I got him, and he's in the Army now. My daughter, it's like, how am I going to handle all this? And why did this happen to me? Everybody says, why me, why me, why me? And it's like, if you just say, okay, I'm just going to trust and believe that there's something else out there that's supposed to be for me. And eventually something like this that, I would have never in my last dream thought of would ever happen, just finds its way into your situation. And you go, okay, as bad as it is to lose someone, as bad as it is to go through, like, relationships that are terrible and all this kind of stuff, that puts you in a position to be here and to be with this person, to be here. And if you'd have never dealt with this negative, you would have never found your positive. So it's really just been a really growing effect for me. And I just sit and sometimes wonder, like, this is crazy. Like, how did this situation turn into such a great blessing? But I feel like sometimes when you go through things, it makes you much more, what's the word? I don't even know the word. Sometimes you lose the words for things. But, like, I just feel like you can really present something that is much more believable. And you can say, I've been there. I've done that. I've dealt with it.
It makes you more organic, I guess. Because like you said, it's not like, this is, and I always say this when I'm talking about my journey and my experiences, and people are saying, wow, and it's like, this is not something I've learned in the book. This is something I've lived.
Yes, your experiences, exactly, and you mature in certain areas, and I think you really appreciate the good when you've been through the bad. You can say, I'm not wasting this, because look here, this may be my only chance. I am going to put everything I've got into it. Not that you wouldn't before, but, when you really know this is meant to be, I mean, every step leads you to where you're at, and if you look at it, it's all ordained. And, I mean, why would I have been chosen here? Why would I have, worked with this person that knew this person that happened to be there on this day that, I mean, there's just so many coincidences, and it's not coincidence. It's meant to be, it just is. And then all this stuff has come together. Like I said, with 3HP, everybody is like ready to go. We've partnered with so many people that are ready to take this to the next level. So it's just, even like Troy said, he told me, he's like, this is a whirlwind for him, because it's stuff he's not even used to in the music. There's something new for him. And so everybody's getting these great new experiences. So we're really having a great time with it. It's like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot.
But you know what? And as I'm listening to you, I'm just thinking about that person that's sitting out there, that's listening, that is maybe was one nth of a moment away from giving up. But because you've shared a bit of your journey, they're now encouraged, because you have said something that they can relate to, that they can say, oh my gosh, that's where I am now. And now she's testifying on the other side of it. So I know that I can get through that. So, just powerful. Just yes. And everything
you can, like I always say, the light at the end of the tunnel, it's there. You see it. Don't deny that it's there. You don't know how long that track is, but the track eventually gets there. So don't just think that your now is your future. It's not. And in an instant, one person, one moment can change an entire direction for you, you know. But you've got to be willing to listen as well. Some people are like, this is me. I used to be very like, I want things this way, I want it to happen here, and I want it to happen then. That's just not how it goes. No matter how much you want it to be some way or another, it's not that way. And so when it really comes to, and you finally say, okay, look at here, I'm just going to let it be. When I would say if it falls in your lap like a plate of spaghetti, it's probably right. You shouldn't have to force anything. It should happen easily. So always put one foot in front of the other, no matter how bad it is. Believe me, I have been to the lowest of the lows. And I'm telling you, one day I will get out there and everybody will get to hear this crazy story that I've been through. But one foot in front of the other. It may not be easy. Some days you don't want to do it. But then that step brings you to the next step, and then you're one step farther from the problem that you were at the day before. So I'm telling you, it is not worth giving up, because also another thing I think, sometimes you don't realize your dreams may be different than what you think. You may have this grandiose idea of what it might be, but when the real thing comes, you're like, man, I never thought of it this way. I would have never, you know. So that's why I just never let one little negative tear you down. Don't let a big negative tear you down. Just say, okay, this is a learning experience. What can I learn from it? What can I take and what can I leave? And keep going. You know, you take what you can and you leave the rest of it and you move on. So that's why I've named my album that's going to come out this spring is Journey. That's literally what it's called. Because it's just kind of a transformation of what was and what now is and what can be. So, you know, it's a mix of, you know, like I said, gospel, R&B. There's just R&B. There's just gospel. I've got a lot of stuff, and, you know, I'm really excited to share it. So, it's going to be great. So I will be excited to come back on and talk all about that here soon as we get more info about that.
Yes, we would love
hopefully
to have
it can be something that somebody can, you know, get inspiration from and know that stuff I'm singing about is something I've been through. I've dealt with it. I've done it. It's not just something I randomly came up with. This is something that comes from the inside that I'm just letting out because I'm finally done with all that, you know?
And that's where the ministry comes from, because I believe you can tell, at least I can tell, when someone is singing a song from their soul, because they've lived the journey that they're singing about. You know, they've lived the journey that it's genuine, and they've lived the journey that they are singing about. And you have definitely demonstrated, you know, I always use this term, well, not always, but use this term, grace under fire. You know, a woman who has been through the fire, the woman who has been through hell and back, a woman who has been at a low point, and at that point never probably imagined how she could climb out of that. But for you, but for you, and I can hear it in your voice, because you're on the other side of that. You're that woman, and you're on the other side of that, you know, grace under fire, and pulling yourself up out of that pit back to the mountaintop, and making sure you're doing, you know, keeping your ear inclined to what it is that God would have you to do. Well, Amanda, we only have a few minutes left, maybe about 3 or so minutes left. Is there anything else that you would like to share that maybe you have not had the opportunity to share?
I just want everybody to follow me on Instagram, Amanda Lynn Music. You can follow me on Facebook. My name is Amanda Lynn on there as well. I have a lot going on, a lot of things we have planned. I mean, you know, like I said, 2019 is going to be a great year. That's the best way to keep in touch with me, see what's going on. Again, I'll come back and we will talk some more, and we will have all kinds of stuff to tell you. So anybody, you know, contact me through there, and, you know, I can share my story, you know, as much as anybody wants to hear it. So I am thrilled. I mean, I've got, like, Jimmy Fallon coming up this year, which is huge.
Oh,
I mean,
yes, I saw that.
Yeah. So that's definitely a nerve-wracking situation, but that is huge. I'm so excited about it. So that's big. I'll be doing a song with Tony Terry. I'll talk about everything. So, yeah, please follow, keep in touch. We will definitely, do this again and dig deeper next time and, do all the stuff. I had a blast.
Yes, because by that time, you will have traveled to Europe well, you say overseas. I always assume it's Europe, which is not necessarily the case. But
yeah, I'm not exactly sure the dates yet or places, but we'll know soon. So I'm very excited to find out. So.
Yeah, we'll take lots of pictures.
Girl, I will. I'll be posting them.
Take lots of pictures, and you got to bring a little souvenir or something back from each place for baby girl, so she'll have So
and I'm just thankful for you guys and thankful for Troy Edwards, Mr. Indy Mogul, my greatest asset right now, just helping me with everything and just awesome. So I'm so appreciative of the time you took for me, and I'll definitely be back.
Amen. Well, you continue to do what it is that you are doing, and much love to you, and embrace the journey. Ladies and gentlemen, right here this evening, you have heard it from recording artist Amanda Lynn on Late Night with Jerry Royce Live, and Paula G. We cannot wait to see what it is that God is doing in her life in 2019. So we thank you all for joining us, and I believe at this moment we'll take a music break, and when we come back on the flip side, we'll be back on the flip side.
All right. And Paula, we want to let everyone know that we have an interview that we recorded in Baltimore at the taping of the platform with Amanda Lynn. So hopefully we'll be able to have that airing really, really soon, because she's actually going to be in this area a whole lot. So hopefully we get her on My Journey with Paula
Absolutely.
G.
Absolutely.
All right?
Absolutely. Although I heard her mention Tony Terry, and I know Tony's here in Atlanta, I believe. I think he's based here in the Atlanta area. So that's just a footnote as well. But yes, if you're in the Baltimore area, I can come up, if I need to, because I think it would be an awesome conversation to have you on My Journey, because my show, and when you mentioned your album, my show is called My Journey with Paula G. So I would love to have you on after. I'm telling you.
It's confirmation. I tell people, you have to be willing to receive confirmations, and okay, this is what it is. So
really do. So you really do. I think it would be so appropriate when you come back from the tour to come on My Journey and talk about your journey.
Do it. I will do it. That would be fabulous.
Get a performance. We can get a performance out of her, and she did a great job on the platform. I actually caught that show, and you did a great job. Great job.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations to all the executive producers of the platform, and we're so excited to see what that is going to do in not just the Baltimore area, but the Maryland area, because there's so much talent in this area, and Troy expressed to me that they're really interested in digging it all out, and I'm going to help them. I'm going to make sure I help them get that done. We know